wasn't
Right.
like a bad thing, but like I always enjoyed being a character, and I've been doing like performances in general since I was 11 years old. So then you give me the outlet to um be an asshole and like get paid for it. Like hell yeah, I'm gonna do that shit. Like hell yeah, I'm gonna do that shit.
Right, right. That's like so how was it? How was it? You say you got caught on, they put you on fire?
Yes, yes, several times.
How was
Like
that?
oh man, the first time when we were training, obviously, I'm like watching everybody else train before me, and I kind of just like shuffled to the back of the line because I grew up in I grew up in DC, so I was like, oh, hey, oh, y'all getting set on fire. I'm gonna watch y'all have fun for a little bit, and then like it's kind of just like a fuck it, chuck it mindset. And my first time, they patched me up and everything, and they're like, all right, well, here's what you do. Here's what not to do. Da da da. And after the first time, man, I was like, yeah, I like this shit. And then it turned into like fucking 3 or 4 times a day, every single day. And
Wow.
I mean, it's not bad. But like with stunt work in general, there's a lot more safety precautions involved with
Mhm.
stunt work. And I would say, honestly, completely honestly, like no disrespect to anybody, but I feel like the stunt world is more precautious and more safety conscious than sometimes even professional wrestling is.
Wow. Um,
Because we are we have to rehearse everything, and we even went during the rehearsal process, or like it's different than calling spots uh 20
right,
minutes or 30 minutes before a match. We have to actually choreograph and rehearse everything, um
right,
and also like after the way you want it to go is choreographed and down, then we have to start exploring the what ifs as well. Like if I
right,
get set on fire, what if I trip and fall? Who puts me out? Like everything like that.
right.
So there's a lot of like yes, in the professional wrestling world, we are trained to handle the what ifs if they happen, but
Yeah,
in stunts, it's more so we're going to rehearse the what ifs. And you obviously, I mean, just like with pro wrestling, like anything can and probably the fuck will happen. But with
right,
stunts, there are way more people than just you and your opponents or you and the referee, like that are physically there on standby for if anything goes wrong.
right.
And
And
go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say like I'm sure it was like a big cultural shock over there too. Seeing you're from DC, now you're in the land of the rising sun now, and so I know like the food and the women, everything must have been a little bit different over there than what it is over here.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Funny story. You know, language warning for whoever might be listening. So I get off the airplane. I get off the airplane, and we have the company driver take us to the cast house and everything. So they like set me up in this really nice apartment for the stay and da 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 da. And
Right,
they were like, "Hey, if you guys need anything, we'll take you guys to the market and let you guys go shopping or whatever the case." Mind you, this is all within my first 2 hours of being on the mainland.
oh yeah,
And so I'm basically half dead, sleepy, jet lagged, da 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 da, walking through this market, and I hear like I'm walking past this massive fucking crowd of people, and like just out of the corner of my ear, somebody's on the phone, and I hear somebody go, nigga, nigga, nigga. And I'm like,
oh
I'm like, I'm like, I turned around. I was like, what? But
right,
it wasn't until later that I learned that that's like their version of or that.
right,
So it's
right.
a complete culture shock. Like even the language, and I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. I'm gonna keep my eye on it, but, but, but cool. but cool. Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock. Completely honest. Full disclosure, my first 2 weeks,
Mhm.
I did not like it at all.
Now
I hated it. I
I
was
know that
literally,
they probably paid you like a really big penny out there. I heard
eh,
like Japan, China pays really well for athletes, stuntmen, all that stuff. So I know they probably
absolutely,
paid you. Yeah, yeah. So
absolutely, and
yeah,
like
so
I went from when I first got there for the first 2 weeks, like just because I was so inside myself and I was so inside of where I came from, like I was literally eating fucking rice and noodles, because I just didn't want to try anything else. And then I made a couple of Chinese friends, and they started taking me out to what they call street meat, which is basically like the roadside barbecues and everything.
okay.
And yo, that shit slaps. That's some of the best food I've ever had in my life, dude. And after that, like once you get to my stomach, I'm all good. Like, no
I mean,
problem.
man, I've seen like videos of them like cooking like octopus right in front of you and shit
Hmm.
like that, and I'm
Hmm.
like, what is that? Like, I wouldn't, I would be your head. I will eat just rice and noodles all day, like that, and fruit.
Right.
I wouldn't eat anything else over there because it would freak me out.
Right.
So,
I will tell you one thing. I've never eaten anything that wasn't already dead and cooked when it got to the table, and I still won't.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't play with that shit. I don't play with that shit at all. But after that, basically, like I think, to be completely honest, spending so much time overseas kind of opened me up to being able to eat more shit even after I got back here.
Right.
So it's like I said, when I first went over there, I was a super young buck. I had a problem with like too much onions or like all this other
Right.
shit, and then and then I'm sitting here eating like an actual fucking chicken foot, like just grubbing down
Oh,
2 years later.
oh.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But the food over there actually isn't as shocking as a lot of people think, because
Right.
there are the options. Like if anybody's considering going over, I always try to let them know, like, yeah, if you're super conscious about what you're eating, there's markets where you can cook your own shit. There's McDonald's, KFC, um, Pizza Hut. Actually, funny story that nobody believes unless they see it. Pizza Hut is actually a fucking five-star restaurant in China.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like you have to go to the lobby, get seated at these really nice like candlelit tables and all this other bullshit. Like
Oh shit.
can like Pizza Hut over there is like you could take a date to Pizza Hut and be the happiest person on earth. It's a real establishment. But like there's everything for everybody, food wise, like lifestyle wise. If you're into like working out, eating, like drinking,
Mhm.
clubbing, da 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 da. And
Right.
you know that I do DJing as well. So um
Yeah.
I got into nightlife fairly quickly my second time around, which was in 2012. And
Mhm.
basically, to be completely honest, spoiler alert, I kind of prefer the way things were over there than I do here, especially now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, especially now. Um, Shit, if I could, if everything was all right and I could hop on a plane, yeah, I would absolutely go back. But that's just because um, you get treated for what you are capable of and what you can provide to the community, not what you look like, not what language you speak, like da 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 da, like all this other bullshit that we're going through. And
Right.
I'm not trying to get too far into politics, but um, the way America is right now, as much as they have to learn from us, we could also learn a lot about them. But
No doubt.
uh, uh, the thing that I wish that America in general, and a lot of other places as well, would learn is just like the humanity aspect.
Right.